Hello, I'm Robbie Fowler and you're watching Redmen TV.
Tomorrow night's show on the Reds Roundup, we're going to be talking about the sort of how Liverpool's inactivity in the transfer market has basically made everyone miserable twats. That's tomorrow though. First and foremost though, join us on...
Sorry.
Clear your throat.
Just right on cue.
Just getting ready. If you're joining us on... If you're joining us on YouTube, welcome. It's the Uncensored match build-up. We've just been talking about the Stoke game and the optimism that's flowing after that if you ignore Liverpool's transfer inactivity. Yes, we're playing Aston Villa, second game of the season at Villa Park. If you're watching on the subscriber show still, you'll know who we've got with me for the newcomers. We have Chris, Aubrey and James with us. D. James Sutton. Off the telly.
You have to put Sutton on it, it just sounds really weird.
The James.
Not just the James.
The James.
Yeah, you sound like some sort of creepy butler. Fetch the James, please. Anyway, we're playing Aston Villa, who, Chris, were very impressive last weekend.
They were brilliant against Arsenal, weren't they? I think Neville and Carragher had it right on Monday Night Football, didn't they? Where they were talking about Arsenal in the midfield areas. They're going to have it a lot tougher against Gerrard, Lucas and either Henderson or Allen. They had it pretty easy against a weak Arsenal midfield. Was it Wilshere, Ramsey and Riziki? Do you know what I mean?
Was it Ramsey and Wilshere holding the mid?
And Riziki.
So their position was awful, as highlighted by Carragher and Neville. And I think we'll have a lot more shape to us. But on the flip side of that, they were cut apart very easily for that first goal. Yeah. And if we sort of play as fluid as we did, it gives me confidence that we can go through them as well.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because I was talking did you do as well? Maybe because I named Aston Villa as my dark horse team for the season last week, because the general consensus seems to be that a young side playing football the right way have come through like a trial by fire last year, that they maybe got what it takes to kick on. And okay, maybe Arsenal probably shot themselves in the foot a little bit last week, but I think they're going to be, they could be a danger still.
Oh, definitely. We can't go there expecting. They're a different beast. Lambert's done a fucking boss job there. Yeah. He doesn't get the credit because there's other managers doing slightly better jobs because of the squads they inherited, but they were a fucking shambles. McLeish had them playing, you want to talk about yard house football. Yeah. It was terrible, and he's frozen out or got rid of tons of deadwood. You used to go there and they'd be done at the back, and it was Ireland who just, whatever happened to him.
Stephen Ireland, who had one world-class season at Man City and then just vanished.
And then you've got
football and that.
And you had McCoon and and Zogbier and even Bent, who's been frozen out and gone. And he's basically brought in the players he wants. And they weren't last year.
They're not household names.
They're not household. Yeah. Baker and Loughton and Holman, and now this year again even a core who's a tall centre back who's going to add competition. They've kept Benteke, which is amazing for them. He looks like he's not going to have second season Premiership syndrome because he took his goals great against Arsenal. He always does well. He raises a game against the big clubs as well. They've got someone. They're really interesting. I'm a bit worried about them in an attacking sense because they've got Benteke, who's a target man, but then they've got movement and pace in Wyman and Abongahor, and that's really difficult to play against because if you go up against what we did against Stoke, which was Walters and Crouch, they both play a similar way, so you know how to defend against that. Or if you go up against even possibly us,
Sturridge. You don't worry playing a high line against a team that's set up with Peter Crouch and has got and that kind of options. Whereas if you play a high line against Benteke or Agbonlalo,
he's got skills. Benteke.
Yeah.
So it's
mad skills.
He's got mad skills for a big lad. Believe that, man. That boy play, man. He better play. Now you continue, man.
But it's that thing of, because we're kind of going to get caught in that mid ground, because there's one of them who can do you for pacing behind, and there's someone who can out-muscle you.
For me, it's about Henderson playing for a start, because that second ball that comes down off Benteke is the important one. So it's Lucas has got to push back on him, probably Torre push on, and it's the second ball. It's how we deal with that's going to be the key.
I'm a lot happier based on the Stoke performance, James, having Kolo Touré in there, how well he dealt with Peter Crouch aerially, and how well, because you know when you're playing against a big target man, if you can't beat them in the air as well, sometimes you just got to get in front of them, and he was doing a very good job of that as well, putting them off. And I'm a little bit less fearful. I'm still fearful of Benteke because he was outstanding last year, like. But I'm quite interested to see how Kolo Touré handles him. Basically,
he's a smart footballer, Touré. He's learned an awful lot. He's nobody's fool. It'll be an interesting fucking battle. It really will.
Yeah, most definitely. Chris, we touched upon this in the final word show about how Brendan Rodgers approaches games tactically. For you, should we change up the way we line up, how we approach the game? Would you stick with it? I know it wasn't a strict 4-3-3 we played against Stoke, but we know that's a sort of Brendan Rodgers favoured sort of tactical formation. Yeah. How would you approach it? Would you change it up for Villa away from home?
I probably wouldn't play Aspas or something like that. I'd probably have a tendency to make sure that Henderson's playing with Allen and maybe Lucas and Gerrard as well. I think you've got to respect Villa and maybe play it like more of a 4-5-1 almost. I'd still maybe look at Coutinho having that free space, but I'd definitely want to crowd the midfield against Aston Villa. I think, as we talked about before, it's important to get the second ball down off them. Last season we started in that Anfield game with Downing as left back, like, bad move. Bad move, that one.
Bad one.
John Joe Shelby played left wing as well in that game, so already you're looking at a team and you're thinking there's major improvements been made there.
Significant improvements made there, yeah. But it's a lot of it's indicative, isn't it, of how much our squad has improved in 12 months. I mean, I made a point before the Stoke game that the fact that we've got more options, and someone said, I said because the squad was so thin this time last year, it looks a lot healthier this time round. This guy said, well, we've had 4 out and 4 in, it doesn't make sense. I was like, no, but since last year, when we had Suarez and Sterling as our attacking players, and then when all went tits up, we were playing fucking John Joe Shelby up front, or as Chris says, left wing. So yeah, you know, we do have the we have a greater strength in depth. We have the ability to sort of to mix it up as and when we need to as well.
Yeah, overall I do. This game I don't think we do, because of the Suarez suspension and because we haven't sold and replaced Downing yet. So I agree with you. We are going to bring someone in theoretically in that position. So going forward, but I was trying to, what formation will we do? I was thinking, well, actually, yeah, exactly the same logic as you. You've got a crowd in midfield. So what we would have done in this situation last year was we'd have dropped Aspas and put Downing in because he offers her a little bit more further back, but we ain't got him anymore. Sterling and Ibe aren't going to do that. I don't think Alberto will. So do you go with Allen? Because he's the other player that's around it, but then there's no one on the wing. So until we get that extra better player who's going to take the Downing spot, I think we might have to line up similar to what we did, but tell them to do a different job. You know, maybe have Lucas not pressing as high as we said Hendo does come further back.
James, is there a case to be made, though, we've touched on it, like 4-5-1, is to just get as much pace in the side as possible, so maybe you bin Aspas off or Henderson from the front and you stick Ibe or Sterling in there, and then just say, yeah, let's just try and nail them on the break.
Not against Villa not playing the way they are. No, I don't think so.
Not in agreement?
No, not in agreement. Sorry, I'd love to offer you a different perspective, but no, I really don't. I think play.
I was really looking for vindication there, James.
What was that your feeling?
Not anymore. No, fair play. I mean, Chris, what do you reckon? Is this a game for Raheem Sterling to start, or the Jordan Ibe, or what?
I don't know. I think out of the two of them, I'd be tempted to go with Ibe if I was going to, if you had a gun to my head, because I think he's got a little bit more strength than Sterling. I think if we do crowd the midfield, it's nice to have an outlet, isn't it?
Yeah.
So having someone there with Ibe's pace, I could definitely see the advantages of.
Yeah.
Although I agree with James, I don't think it'll happen.
So we talked earlier about the sort of the approach we had against Newcastle. Possible to sort of basically say Sturridge and Coutinho behind Sturridge, just looking to basically pick balls through over the top.
I think it'll be Gerrard, Lucas and Henderson, and then Coutinho and Allen behind Sturridge, something like that. I think might work.
Yeah.
Whether that's what is in Rodger's head, I don't know. But more of that Christmas tree formation where everything's sort of more central against them.
Yeah. On a totally different note, did you notice, anyone who's seen the form guide, there's one on EPLindex.com which takes in the last 6 competitive Premier League games, so that goes back to last season. We're second in the form table at the minute, which is really nice. Really put a nice little boost to me day.
That doesn't include pre-season, though, is it?
No, it's just Premier League games. So, but carrying on our form from last season into this season, we're second in the league, which of course counts for sweet fuck all. But no. On another note as well, actually, it's the Uncensored Match Build-Up show, so if you want to stay tuned, in a little bit, we're going to have the legendary Ian Prowse in the studio doing a stripped-down set as well. Those of you who enjoyed the Ragamuffins last week, do stay tuned for that. We'll also obviously be wrapping up with some more general Liverpool chat. Okay, I want you to tell me how you think Liverpool are going to line up. Aubrey, what do you think? What 11 should Liverpool go with against Aston Villa?
Should or do I think they'll play?
Whichever you fancy.
Okay,
what it is.
I think what they think they'll play is the same. I don't think he'll change. I think that's the 11.
Exactly.
And I think just because of options, I think they should. I liked what Chris was just saying. Possibly pull Allen in for Aspas.
And so Allen would basically join the mid. Just be you'd have a proper 3 in midfield. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting. Anyone want to make any counterpoints to that? No, not at all.
Go ahead, Paul. What was yours?
Want to play devil's advocate? Well,
I'll play devil's advocate. No problem. I think he's going to play Brad Jones in goal.
Sissoko's start.
Yeah.
But up front.
Up front, I like it. I'll raise that.
And Enrique's going to be further up the field as well.
Maybe you'll play Enrique left mid.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay.
Torre left back.
All right, fantastic. Trivia question. There we are. Who was the last player to transfer from Aston Villa to Liverpool prior to Stuart Dan? Not for use in the studio.
As if I'm good at trivia questions anyway. I'm just about to jump in with nothing. I've got nothing.
I got nothing. Answer at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Let's have a quick Danger Man focus. Christian Benteke started one game, scored 2 goals.
That's worrying.
Created 3 chances. Minutes per goal 45, shots on target 3, total shots 5. He's got a shooting accuracy of 60%, chance conversion of 40%, and a clear-cut chance conversion of 67%. I'd say that's inconclusive if you were going to draw any
So who's the Villa danger man that you're saying?
Yeah. So basically, the man who scored some goals for them last week, we'll say Christian Benteke, obviously
against the worst defence in the league, without there, and I think he's a wank top defender in Koscielny as well.
They love him though, don't they?
They love him as if he's gay. He's awful.
They love Lauren Koscielny. Yeah, okay. So, Chris, have you got some? Did you do best bets? Oh, look at that! Always prepared. Just give us the match odds.
Villa win 3-1, draw 11-4, Liverpool 5-6 on.
Wow.
Yeah. Liverpool, I thought this was quite a decent one. Liverpool to win by a 1-goal margin, 11-4, so just over 2-1 on that. Aston Villa 1-0, 11-1, and Liverpool 2-1, which I think it's going to be, is 15-2.
That's worth it.
The slight interesting thing is because obviously they play Chelsea, so they could get dicked by Chelsea, which might just change.
This is
tough start for them on paper, wasn't it?
Well, this is of course the qualification, and it's so early into the season. Thank you very much to the Premier League schedulers, who of course
had to do it
the day after we film. Thanks once again. So all these predictions could of course go completely out the window. Benteke's danger man focus probably should have done that. He's probably played 2 games, scored 6 goals.
If only for my fantasy football team. I hope he has.
Definitely. Okay, well we're going to have your score predictions in a moment, but first let's have a little bit of a musical interlude from Mr. Ian Prowse.
Mackenzie's soul lies above the ground in that pyramid near Maryland. EasyJet is hanging in the air, taking everyone everywhere. Whoa. fought. The blood of Africa's on every wall. Now there's a ley line runs down Matthew Street. It's giving energy to all it needs. So oh, hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Oh, hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Whoa. Alan Williams in the Marlborough Arms, giving a story out to everyone. Famine boats are anchored in the bay, bringing in the poor and desperate. Oh, hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Oh, hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Boston babies bouncing on the ground, the riggers beaming out to every town. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Why don't you remember? Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Why don't you remember? Why don't you remember? Why don't you remember? Can't conceive what those children done. Guess there's a meanness in the soul of man. Yorkshire policemen chat with folded arms, and people try and save their fellow fans. Hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Oh, hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Oh, hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Oh, hey, does this train stop? Does this train stop on Merseyside? Whoa.
There we go, wasn't that lovely?
It was great.
Excellent. Okay, let's have your score predictions then. We'll go around the room. We'll start with you, please, Mr. James.
1-0.
2. What's it was? Okay, okay.
0-1.
No, there we go.
It's going to be nice.
2-2.
2-2. Interesting. Chris, you've said
1-2
1-2.
after James.
Okay, great. Oh God, I'd be
Enrique hat-trick.
oh, fantasy land. 1-0 to Liverpool. Again, for exactly the same reasons as the Stoke one. I think it's more important about results than actual performances at this point. And if we can get come away with 3 all day long, you know what I mean, last minute penalty, similar to years ago. You know, if it's the Steven Gerrard pen in the last free kick in the last minute, then that'll do me. That will do me nicely. Please do let us know your score predictions in the comment section, which you can now do on the on YouTube as well. Now you can do it on the redmentv.com because we've changed stuff. And it's better. Go and look at it. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to continue to watch the full shows, go to the redmentv.com and start your free month trial. You can watch the final word on Stoke. You can watch the Reds roundup. We're going to be looking at all of Liverpool's transfer news or lack thereof. And we're also on Friday got the Friday football show, which is the single most unoriginally titled football show ever. But the content's good, so do check that out. It's free for a month. Anyway, if you're watching on the subscriber show, you know. You already know. Anyway, thanks very much. We're going to wrap it up for that show there. Do check out the show tomorrow and Friday, of course. Anyway, thanks very much, gents. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments and your starting 11s underneath. Thank you and good night. Ta-da.